Welcome, apprentices and acolytes. Thank you for coming in to unlock the knowledge, and today we're going to talk about everything that's going on with the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. Ready up.
Ready up. My destiny.
Apprentices and acolytes, coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many other Force sensitives like yourself. Thank you for being here and listening to all of the knowledge from Unlock the Knowledge, the Star Wars podcast that's giving you everything from Lord Dagovere. Ready up. Fam, there has been so much happening, and I actually just made a video on this Friday, and it actually goes so well into detail with several comparisons, several beautiful. I just love the way I edited this video because this is the way I love editing videos. I love being descriptive. I love being in-depth and meticulous because I feel like editing is so powerful, and it's also just incredibly helpful for anyone who's not necessarily drowning into the knowledge of Star Wars. You know, maybe you're very busy, maybe you just got other things to do and you need other creators to just tell you what's going on. And I feel like these days there's a lot of creators that just tell you what their opinion is. They're not necessarily giving you straight facts. They're not giving you everything you need to know. That's why I like educating people on Star Wars. That's why I like showing them. And if you did watch that video, which is my video, Is This Really Worth $6,000? Here is my honest opinion, which goes into great detail about, of course, the experience, the itinerary, why I feel like this isn't $6,000, why I feel like this is worth $6,000, what I feel like they did wrong, what I feel like they didn't do wrong. But it's all about comparisons. It's all about facts. It's all about supporting details. And I hope that I did my best. I mean, obviously this video is doing well because I almost have 200 views on it, which isn't a lot considering, you know, a lot of the average large content creators usually have about 16,000 plus views, maybe a little bit more. This is a really good video for me. My average video only has about 50 to 60 views. This is well over that. But that's one thing I don't like. I don't like how negativity attracts more people. I wish positivity attracted more people. And it's sad too because me, as a person, I am very positive about Star Wars. It doesn't matter what it is, I will always find something to be happy about. And of course in this video I did that as well. I showed you what I liked, what I didn't like, but mainly like what made me really excited. And of course I'll go over that again because, you know, this is going to be a podcast that I talk about just about anything and everything inside that I feel like people might be kind of over criticizing, people might be bashing a little bit too much and just kind of beating a dead horse, but at the same time I feel like a lot of people just overlook what is and what actually should be appreciated and is actually done really well. So here is this podcast. Let's talk about this in greater detail, and if not, let's just go over our thoughts because I know a lot of people want to hype on one thing. What is that? The price range, right? $6,000 for, I think, an entire family. I think 2 people are about $4,800, which is the itinerary. And it's a 3-day itinerary. Now, well, actually, it's like 2 days, and the 3rd day is just you leave Batu, right? Or you leave the Starship Cruiser. Now, the itinerary is large. You know, we've gone over it several podcasts, but what I'll do right now, actually, while I'm talking, is I will type up and look for the Star Wars Cruiser. I will look up the itinerary and we'll go over it again just to show you what all the experience is, why it's going to be $6,000, or at the very least just try to defend it as best as we possibly can to show people and help people understand why they might be charging this much. So it goes off into concept art, and the concept art is something that we've been seeing for a very long time now, right? And I feel like the concept art is very Star Wars, which is what I talked about in my video as well. But I do feel like there was a little bit of loss in translation. Something happened where something wasn't necessarily completely transformed or absorbed into the idea, and then when it finally manifested itself into reality, the experience wasn't brought out or executed as well. we talk about Batu a lot, and I know there's a lot of people out there that really don't like Batu. You know, you hear a lot, and I think Star Wars Theory has talked about it on his nerd podcast. I think a couple other people have talked about it, you know, X and so many other people, and just like in comment sections on Twitter and social media. And you know, everybody always talks about one thing. Why couldn't they just make a Star Wars theme park and have, you know, the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the sequel trilogy? And yeah, you know, like that, they're so right. All those creators, Star Wars Theory and everybody else, you know, yeah, dude, you know, that's, I can't, like, defend anything about that because I feel like, yeah, you know, that's a really great question. You know, why didn't they do that? I feel like that would have been the obvious one to make the most money because, well, it feeds all the generations. Now, the only thing I can think about is like, well, you know, it's Star Wars and they're gonna make more episodes down the road, so maybe they just didn't want to do. I don't know. Like, that's just an excuse, honestly. I'm just making excuses why they didn't. There's no like actual answer, you know, that could really honestly just persuade everybody that this was the right decision. But what I will say, and what I will defend to the death, is that I believe Galaxy's Edge is a fantastic Star Wars experience. I feel like Batu looks Star Wars. The Galaxy of Edge, the only issue with Galaxy's Edge is that it's not in a Star Wars movie. Yeah, it's talked about, you know, Batu is talked about, Galaxy's Edge, talked Black Spire Outpost, you know, there's so many names for this thing, so it's very hard for people to even recognize it. But there needed to be some sort of movie around that. You know, I just don't know why Rise of Skywalker didn't have it. I don't know why Solo didn't have it. Batu in the Legends, excuse me, not in Legends, in the expanded universe, has been around for a while, continuity-wise, like timeline-wise, right? I'm not talking about like it's been here since, you know, the dawn of time of Star Wars. And, you know, in Legends, you know, day one of Star Wars EU. No. It has been, like, in timeline, like, you know, it's been there with Thrawn and the prequel trilogy. And you know about Anakin Skywalker and Thrawn alliances. And then, of course, through that timeline, through everything else. And then we have the Batu book, which is right after The Last Jedi. So, yeah, you know, the known galaxy has known about it for a long time. But us as fans, it's only been here for a couple of years. And I felt like the greatest opportunity to get even people more excited about it was to put it in a movie. You have to put it in a movie. That's the reason, that's the thing that gets people excited about it. Unless you have some magic like The Mandalorian, that, you know, where it just catches fire and you just can't put it out because that thing is just literally like a cultural phenomenon, you know, like Baby Yoda was. But, you know, I digress. But the one thing I love about Batu is the execution. You bring on people, you know, you even like George Lucas was there, you know, and he was astounded by everything that was going on, just completely like, wow, you know, this is actually happening. We used to joke about this, but it's seriously here. This is incredible, you know. And then you bring on someone like the Chang, who's been an artist for so long, which I talked about in my video, and he's drawn so many beautiful examples of what Batu was going to be like, what Black Spire was going to be like. And I'm actually holding the book right now for Galaxy's Edge, The Art of Galaxy's Edge, and you have so many beautiful artists that are listed on here, that are credited on here, and it just goes into so much great detail. There's so many beautiful components to Galaxy's Edge, and I don't want to say that I don't think effort was put into the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, because when you look at this itinerary and what I'm about to say, you know, when I read this off, there was some thought. People really thought about the experience of Star Wars, but from a visual experience, from an experience, does that make sense? Like actually seeing it, actually witnessing it. I'm not sure if the same staff that made Batu actually created the idea, or at the very least helped construct the idea of the Starcruiser Hotel. You can go on Disney Plus too, and you can see everything that was there, and you can see like behind the scenes from all these actors and them talking about, you know, Savi's workshop and Naranto Rose and everything like that. I feel like Batu was way more prepared for it. They had been thinking about this for a long time. I think the Starcruiser was developed and curated in a much smaller time. Yeah, maybe this was something that they wanted to add. Maybe they had thought about it before. Maybe this was something they wanted to put in Batu as well. They just couldn't do it. But something was lost in translation here. Something was completely just foiled up, folded, cast to the side, and then they decided to, you know, bring this out. I don't want to say watered down, because, you know, I think that's really offensive. I think there's a lot of people here that do a lot of construction, and they're so talented. They're incredibly talented. But something went wrong here. Now, let's look at this itinerary, okay? And we're going to jump back to this, all right? We're going to jump back to everything about Batu. We're going to jump to everything about the Starcruiser. But listen to this itinerary. Day one. This is day one, okay? This is trying to defend wide $6,000, right? Arrive at terminal. This is 1:15 p.m. Launch pod to Starcruiser. Ship orientation. So, if you've ever been to Disney, instantly you kind of understand what this is talking about. You know, you go in, you know, you have the staff members, they're telling you about all this stuff. A lot of Disney rides, you go in there, there's a presentation, there is a video of some sort, and it's telling you, like, for instance, Countdown to Extinction has, like, the one guy telling you about, you know, the Allosaurus, or whatever, the dinosaur that you're supposed to go back and retrieve and go into, like, real time after going back in time. He's, like, telling you about the vehicle, he's telling you what you gotta do, keeping your heads and, you know, feet in the, you know, so there's probably gonna be something along that lines, you know, like, hey, you know, these are actual, you know, you're gonna be inside the Star Wars universe, you know, give people expect these are people, you know, but they're telling you, like, they're actors, so don't mess with them, don't touch them, you know, just behave, be on your best behavior, you know. And so that's probably what the ship intoriation is. That's probably like you getting your clothes, you know, you trying to figure out where you're going to go. And so finally, after that, from 2:15 p.m., which is a big gap, you have 2:15 to 3 p.m. This is where the next thing on the itinerary starts, and that's light refreshment. So I guess that's you getting in there, just kind of relaxing and chilling, and that goes to 3:30, and then you have sabacc sessions. Okay, so I guess you're already on the ship, you're already on the Starcruiser, so you're slowly kind of like adjusting to it. Then they're going to teach you how to play cards like they do in Solo. Then there's muster. I'm not sure what that is, and that's about 4 to 4:30. And then captain's reception. There's concept art of this where it looks like you're in the bridge and the captain is kind of showing you around. And I guess that's basically what's going to be happening there. And that's like already 4 hours. This is literally like nonstop. After that, you have dinner featuring live music. I'm not sure if that's what we saw at the cantina in the trailer, but if it is, it's probably something similar. There's a lot of concept art on the site that shows, you know, people dining, people sitting down. I think there's actually a singer on one of the far ends of the concept art, but it looks like families are mingling. They have you know, Star Wars aliens and everything there, but I'm assuming it's just going to be families unless they have like more paid actors or staff members there, which I think would be amazing. And then after that, it is the Outer Rim Regalia. This is something I want to know more about. You know, what is this? You know, is this like adult stuff? Is this, are we going like, are we trying to like find and look at stuff? Is this a shop? What's going on here? Then there's an unexpected story moment, and this is part of their experience. There's going to be an overlapping story with your own character, you, the person that's there. And that's something that we talked about in several podcasts ago, right? And it says, prove your mettle to join an elite smuggling ring, hide a stowaway to help the resistance. So I guess you could choose whether you want to be a part of the smugglers or you want to be a part of the resistance, which I think is funny too, because I could have sworn that this was after the sequel trilogy, or maybe it's during the sequel trilogy, so who knows. It's probably playing that one canon part inside of Batu. So maybe you're going to be First Order, maybe you're helping, you know, someone who's defecting from the First Order, whatever it is. It seems like you're aiding the resistance in some fashion. Now you go on after that to bridge training, and I guess that could be also some of the concept art that we saw, which is pretty late though. That's like 8:45. I mean, some people, I think kids too, are going to be really tired. So I wonder if you're allowed to just stop this and just go to your room. And then there is special atrium entertainment. So I think a lot of these things are similar, actually. So we have the special atrium entertainment, and then we have the dinner featuring live music. This might be an extension of one another. It might just be something that you see. And then you have the bridge training, and then the captain's reception. They're about the same time frame too when I look at them. So dinner featuring, that's 5 to 7. Yeah, 5 to 7, and then the special entertainment actually is only 15 minutes. So what is that? That's actually very, very, very short. Maybe it's like a montage of your day or something? Who knows? So that's day 1. That's a lot. That's 1 o'clock to about 9 p.m. Yo, that's like 8 hours of work. This is straight up. That's like 8 hours. That's pretty big. That's a full day, right? And so then day 2, you get breakfast bright and early, 7 o'clock in the morning. Then you're transported to shuttle to Batu, and this is your stay at Batu. So this is one thing. All right. So when I think about that, a lot of us have been to Batu already, right? You know, I actually moved to Orlando, Florida, just so I can go to Batu. Let me put my book back, okay? And like, that's not, like, I'm not, like, trashing myself. I wanted to do that. That's how much I love Star Wars, you know, I'm very dedicated. I literally wanted to move here because I wanted to experience it. I wanted to have the opportunity to go when I wanted. I wanted the opportunity to possibly work there as a career. It was something that I've always wanted to do, you know. So I actually, when I see this stuff, I'm not as excited as you'd think people, because if they've already gone to Batu, I kind of feel like, I don't want to say it's just something that they've already experienced. But here's the thing, right? So we have Star Wars Rise of Resistance. You ride the ride very early at 8:45 a.m. So they're getting you through it instantly. But then you have another expected moment. So this is where it's going to change. While you may be at Batu, you're not necessarily doing the same thing as of right now. There's a broker for a dealer heist, arranged to steal a ship from the First Order. Wow, so you're totally trashing the First Order. You get off Rise of Resistance at 9:30, and instantly from there, you're doing something that takes about 20 minutes of your time, which is part of your story. And there's only 3 segments of the story. This is already the second one. You had the first one yesterday, and it looks like at the end of the day, for the day 2, you're going to have your final chapter, which is your ending arc of your character's story. Now, I'm very curious as to how, you know, immersion breaking this is going to be for, like, people that are actually at Batu themselves, that are not partaking in this event and, you know, the Starcruiser, because is there going to be more people at Batu? Because if so, I actually want to go to Batu and see, like, how exactly, like, the people at the hotel, you know, it's affecting, like, is there actually going to be, like, a show? Is there people going to be, like, inside, like, the story? Are we going to see them get taken away, or First Order, or they're going to steal a ship? You know, for instance, the TIE Enforcer is always there, or the TIE Echelon that I love so much. That's by the First Order and where Kylo Ren usually hangs out. Are we stealing that? You can do that in The Sims, by the way. That Sims DLC, yes. I never played The Sims ever, but I've literally bought that DLC just so I can play the Batu DLC in Star Wars, because that's how much of a Star Wars fan I am. And there were some things that I really enjoyed about it, but I ultimately got tired of it because I just, you know, Sims is just not my thing. I've never played it. I just wanted to experience Batu and have fun. And one of the missions inside that game, actually, for that DLC, is that you can actually steal the TIE Echelon, or you can use the TIE Echelon to do stuff if you're First Order. So I wonder if you're actually going to steal that ship, or that's the ship that you're going to go. So after that, you again ride another ride at Batu, which is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. That takes about an hour of your time, from 9:50 to about 10:30. So then you go eat at Docking Bay 7, which is pretty awesome. That's some good food. But this is not food from the cruiser, right? This is still all Batu. You are still in Batu. After that, it looks like you go back to your cruiser. So that is a half day. You wake up at 7, you end half the day at Batu. It is still early. You still are in the afternoon. Now, after that, which is going to be, I think it's actually going to be really tiring for a lot of people, you have Lightsaber Training, 1 p.m. to 1:30. And if you have not seen yet, they actually revealed what the Lightsaber Training looks like. And I talked about it, I think, in my last podcast, or 2 podcasts ago. I felt like what they had revealed was just pretty consistent with what they've been doing recently with the quality of this experience. It looked a little underwhelming. In my video, I actually called it a Dave & Buster's experience. I think that's pretty valid. I think that it's not as, how can I say, it's not as groundbreaking experience, like something that I would expect Disney to be. You know, Disney has a lot of incredible experiences, you know. Like for instance, I don't really like a lot of like Disney stuff in general, just because it's not like my thing. But I love Star Wars. But something at Disney that I feel like is so good is Fort Wilderness. It's a campground. They do a lot of incredible, beautiful things there that no other place really does. And you go there, you can camp. You have your, you know, whether you do a tent or a camper, but there's also like things there that you can do, like you can fish. There is a movie played every single night at the campground where you can roast marshmallows, and you know they're all singing and dancing and stuff. It's just like it's a nice, beautiful experience. And there's like, you know, animals there because there's wilderness, there's deer everywhere, there's rabbits. And you know, of course, you know, you have Florida there, so there's like snakes and eagles and alligators. But I kind of grown up there. I always went there when I was younger, and it was just one of the coolest experiences ever. And it's my favorite place to be in Disney, and that's something that, you know, only Disney can offer because it's just so nice. It's so pretty. Everyone there, it's kind of like you're in the cool club, you know, like, oh yeah, man, you're at Full Wilderness. Yeah, only cool people know about this. It's definitely more popular now than it was before. But it's easily one of the coolest experiences. But if we're talking about like experiences at theme parks, you know, Animal Kingdom has a lot of really good things, especially with the most recent like Avatar stuff that they have there, and the fly of the something with the bird thing that they have in the Avatar. That ride is really great. You know, of course, Batu. We love Batu. Batu is also an incredible experience, right? There's just only things that you can get at Disney that only Disney is capable of doing, and there's so many more things that I can't name off the top of my head just because I haven't really experienced like everything at Disney. I'm just so niche that I only like certain things, so I definitely don't expand the horizon or the spectrum that I could experience things. But this lightsaber training, I don't think is up to par, and it's not the quality that you expect from Disney. You know, it's shooting little lights at you, and you're pretending that they're lasers. It's not as exceptional that you would assume that, you know, a Disney Imagineer would create. I don't want to say that they cut corners. It's just not something that I would expect the best company entertainment in the world to create. You know, it seems subpar. So after that, you have a droid racing competition. This is new. I don't know if you're actually going to make the droids on the starship itself. This is an extension of course, the Droid Depot, which is pretty cool. That I freaking love that droid place. After that, you build a model ship. That's something that I'm excited about. We haven't seen anything about that. I would love to. You know how Batu always, you have your lightsaber, you have the droid that you can build. But if you're able to keep that ship for yourself, that's something I would want. That's something that, okay, yeah, you know, this is $6,000, and if it's high quality, if it's only something that you can get, if it's like a replica that you can keep at home, that is awesome. You know, you keep the droid that you build for the droid racing competition, you know, that's something, because like, so the lightsaber stuff, the same thing with the lightsabers, you know, do you get to keep that lightsaber? So let's do the math, right? The legacy sabers that they have at Star Wars Batu or Galaxy's Edge, I think most of them are around the $299 mark. I know Ahsoka's lightsabers were, that was like the definition of like, yeah, this is the best one you need to have, right? And then, so that's how much, and then I think the droids were like $100, so what are we at? We're at like $399 now, we're almost at $400. Let's say the model ship is also around that too, let's say like $60 to $100 and something dollars, you know, so we're not even at 1,000 yet, right? But then the clothes, right? They give you the clothes. The clothes, of course, is something that they've been talking about. They want you to dress up. They'll probably have clothes there that you can wear, which I think one of my friends on of course Twitter, SodaFam, shout out to SodaFam, has given me so many links. I'm actually gonna go look at the link as fast as I can right now because I want to see. Yes, and it looks like we have a bunch of stuff. I see a lot of the food here, which actually looks really good, and then we see like some garments. Oh, it looks like you can get an actual like Twi'lek Leku on the back. It looks like Princess Leia. For like the kids, yeah, there's a lot of Leku, and there definitely seems to be some type of gowns and stuff. It looks like nobles. One of this guy looks like Bail Organa with his clothes. It looks like you get necklaces from the cruiser itself, and braces and earrings. What is this? Okay, so this is the prequels of the captain's mechanics outfits come right to the crew in uniforms. There's some merchandise here that looks like a wine bottle opener. It looks like pork. It looks like there's some stuff here that you can get. There might be some things that you can purchase, but like there's if they can do more of the clothes, and like this is on the right track. So this is where I can understand, like, yeah, you know, it's $6,000 because we're giving you like high quality merchandise that you can't find anywhere else in the parks. This is the only place that you can get it. Yes, but I still don't think it's like $6,000. I think maybe like $2,000. You know, I think that's straight up. Like I think that's where we're at right now. Like this is probably like $2,000 at the most. Like that I'm seeing. It's still super expensive. And then so we're at the Build-A-Ship. Then at 4 you have the Sabacc tournament. That's so you had to train for that. That's whatever. Maybe the winner gets a prize. Top 3 gets a prize. Cocktails in the Sublight Lounge. Taste around the Galaxy dinner. That's probably another thing with entertainment and something. So that's the thing too, is like I know a lot of Disney restaurants actually have an incredible experience. Back I had talked about earlier in the podcast about the campground, right? And the campground was beautiful because it also had I can't remember what the heck it's called. Is it Hoop-de-Doo? Let me see. I have to make sure. I think it's like let's see, Forts, Wilderness, Restaurant. I think it's, I swear to God, but I can't remember. That's Trails, and so they have a kind of like a show, a dinner and a show, and I think it's Hoop-de-Doo, but I can't remember. And that's basically what it is. It's like a show. They bring out these like buckets of food, like literally like buckets of food, with like buckets of chicken, buckets of mashed potatoes and corn, and they just plop it right on your stuff. It's an experience, you know. Everything is an experience. But then of course there's like the Animal Kingdom hotel, and the hotel has an incredible experience too. When you eat there, you know, you walk right outside, and there's like, you know, there's the animals, you know, straight from Animal Kingdom, you know. So they have the giraffes, they have the zebras, they have a whole bunch of crazy animals there that are just incredible to watch. Like it's straight up like an experience. Now, if they do stuff like that, which they probably will, and they have like actors and just something all meant up, yeah, man, you know, like that's like a $200 meal, $300 meal, you know, like eating at Disney is also very, very expensive. So there are things that they have on here, you know, that are worth. And of course, this isn't just talking like this is just the itinerary, right? The itinerary is just showing you what you're going to do. But like, what about the barracks? What about the stuff that you're supposed to be sleeping in, you know? Like, what's going on there? Are you getting like ambience, ASMR, like, you know, video game background-esque type stuff? When you look at out into the window to the right or above you, you know, like, are you going to see like actual starships, or the same 10-second loop of the same thing, or is it actually going to be like hours and hours of different type of stuff? That's something that I'm excited about. You know, how high quality is this going to be? Are we going to be able? Is there like, you know how in hotels, right, where you sit down and then you put on the channel, especially when you go to Orlando. When I grew up, we'd always went to hotels when we were able to, which wasn't a lot. And when you go to a hotel in Orlando, there was this type of like setting, like everything had ads for like everything that there was to do in Orlando. So you had SeaWorld, you know, you had Universal, Islands of Adventure, and then of course you had all the Disney stuff. And then after that, it was like the Disney Channel was on there, Cartoon Network was on there. It was setting the mood. But what about instead of these, you know, instead of TV? Of course it's there for like people who just like, you know, who want to take a break from the ambience. But what if someone still wants more? All right, so what if they give you a headset? You know, not like a one with a microphone or something like that, but like, what if they give you a headset and you can just listen to like open channels in space, in the Outer Rim, and just listening to like First Order, you know, radio noise or resistance radio noise, you know, just stuff like that, you know, or maybe transitions coming down to Batu. Maybe you hear Olga complaining about something that's happening with Batu, you know, and how the resistance is there, or maybe you hear
You know, just like transmissions coming from smugglers, or maybe you hear Han Solo, just, you know, just random stuff. And then maybe, you know, you look outside the Starcruiser, yeah, maybe you see the Millennium Falcon going down to Batu. Maybe you see, you know, a Star Destroyer descending down there, or of course a Resistance frigate, you know, or maybe you see Black One, Poe Dameron, you know, that's the type of stuff that I feel like, is more on the lines of like, yeah, you know, that's an experience. And then of course, what's also great too is maybe you didn't see that at all, maybe you didn't witness that before, and so maybe next time you go, you can find that, or maybe the ship, maybe like depending on like what side of the hotel you're on, you get the different side of the ship. So maybe one side gets to see the planets of Batu, or the planet on one side, and then the other side gets like the bottom hemisphere or something, where it's the dark side for like the darker side of Batu because of night, not like dark side the Force. I'm talking about like the moon. You know, I feel like there's things that they can do inside, you know, very small miniature details that can help out, which is why I was so big about the hotel and the hallway and the ceiling. You know, there was a really great opportunity there to put like Resistance, you know, esque, you know, Star Wars lights, you know, or maybe like more windows that would show you like the gallery of like what you were walking through, but all we saw was like basic white walls, you know, and that would look kind of like plastic. And again, you know, it's just a video, and that's why I was like really big on the video, and I thought it was a disservice because the way the trailer was kind of like directed, I just felt like did not do them any good. It really took away any quality that was in that trailer, or that was in that hotel, because it just wasn't presented correctly. One of the first things I would have showed was the barracks. You know, these people are going to be here, they're going to be sleeping there. You know, show them, get them excited. You know, like, this is literally your own personal starship luxury experience. Here's your bed. Yeah, this is what you're going to be doing. Oh, yeah. And you know what? Show the food, you know? Show the clothes. You know, here's clothes. Oh, if you don't worry, guys, we have so much more planned for the clothes. You know, just throw them like 2 or 3 things in quality, you know, get people, like, get model families there, show them what it's going to be like on actual people. Oh, yeah, forgot about this. You know, yeah, sure, we showed you the lightsaber training, but guess what? Everybody gets different lightsabers here. Yeah, Batu, you can go down to Savi's workshop and get your own lightsaber, but the Starcruiser, pff, we have cool lightsabers too. Completely different from Batu. You know, see, that's something that is enough incentive for me to be like, okay, yeah, you know, maybe this is $6,000. That's incredible. Oh, what? Everybody gets their own branded hilt? What? Custom name on this? You know, it's just that, you know, it's that type of level of design where I feel like the Batu experience does it so much better for cheaper, and the Starcruiser is practically dead on arrival because it's just not executed as well. There can be some of the greatest things inside this hotel, but you are not gonna know until you go there, because that trailer was just, it was abrupt, you know, it was premature, and it was ultimately showing you the wrong things. I can say that I love that Twi'lek entertainment. I love, that sounds so weird, you know, because Twi'leks are seen as like, you know, slaves sometimes, and oh god, and Ryloth is literally like a war zone. It's just, man, you got to be careful when you talk about Twi'leks, all right? So, but I just love that idea of that. I love the Fifth Element vibe. I think Kyle Katarn also said on his channel. Yeah, and it was perfect. That was something they need to show more of. Show us the experience, you know? Show us what we're going to do. Show us how we're going to vibe. The control panels and the bridge, the captain's bridge, you know, that's an easy fix. You know, to pop those panels off, just, you know, put some Star Destroyer panels on there with some color on there, and just make it look, just literally take what they did in the movie. And that's the thing, you know, like, where are the people that made the props for the movies? I remember J.J. Abrams and a lot of his staff had talked about that this was probably the best looking set that they've ever been on in like their entire history, and that says a lot with all the movies that they've ever done. Bring those people on, bring those, bring bring Doug Chiang, you know, bring Deborah Chow, bring Jon Favreau, bring Dave Filoni, bring these people that have been working on these movies and these projects, and let them create the experience for you. You've done the work, all of you at Disney. You've all done so beautifully, more than anyone will ever give you credit for. Okay, just make sure when it comes to this, you have people who know how to execute this. And I know, like, it's so weird too, because, like, you know, you have the Imagineers and they're so good at their job, but sometimes, you know, there's only one person that can do the job, and it's Star Wars, so even less people can do the job. And I feel like that's ultimately what's happening behind the scenes, is you have people who are the best in the world at what they do, but sometimes the best in the world isn't the right person for the job. And you do need that catering. You do need that person to help coach, to help guide, to give you that vision. You know, it's exactly what Thrawn says, right? And I love this quote so much, what he says. It's like, you know, you have knowledge and you have vision. Apply them to the situation, you know? And it's not hard. I feel like, I know they took down that video, and, you know, I understand. You know, they're getting a lot of heat for this, and it sucks. It's so bad. And I hate doing anything negative for Star Wars. I can't stand it. I don't want to talk about this stuff. I don't ever want to just talk about and come on a podcast, you know. And that's the thing too, is, you know me, I don't do that. I'm very, very, very positive. I'm very, very open. You know, I always give stuff, you know, hey, you know, people are not talking about this. This needs to be recognized, you know. And there's a lot of really good things about this Starcruiser, man, but the price is not worth it. It's not, and that's the thing too. It's just so, you know, read the room a little bit. Like, people are literally starving. People are, you know, some people didn't even get, some people haven't even gotten a job since COVID, man. Like, some people are still struggling on furlough, and then they got laid off, you know. And to say like something like this is, you know, is that money, or making something like this and then putting it that expensive, is just demoralizing for a normal person, especially like me, who dedicates their entire life to talking about and discussing Star Wars, which is their life. And then to know that I'll never be able to experience that because I'm just not the higher class. It breaks my heart, and it really makes me feel that I'm not worth your time, and I'll never be worth your time, no matter how much I love you. That's literally how I feel. And even then, I'm still here defending. I'm not a shill, but I still appreciate, you know, what everybody else is not seeing. And I get it, you know, it's a business. I get it. You gotta pay bills and everything else. I probably know that more than anybody else, honestly, because I've been on both sides of it. But at the same time too, fam, it's just, you know, Star Wars and Disney, there is no better relationship in the universe, and there's no better, I don't think anyone has more potential than Star Wars and Disney together, working together, you know. And I'll never not be excited, you know, for that, because it's just the potential of everything when it's working together, you know. And the culmination, it is literally the zenith of entertainment. Even the sequel trilogy, it's so scrutinized and criticized for so many things it did wrong, yet it still made you know, each one of those movies still made $1 billion. That says something. That says enough about the brand and how much people are going to pay when they feel like the quality is right. Star Wars is always there. There's always hype around Star Wars, no matter what. We just got to get it right. Not just you creating these things, but also the fans. You know, there's a certain level of responsibility that we all have on our shoulders, and you know what, at the end of the day, we're going to keep each other in check, and we're still going to love each other, and we're still going to support each other, you know, even if these people don't know me. No matter how many times I like their tweets, no matter how many times I'm in their DMs trying to see if there's ways I can get review copies of books and comics, it doesn't matter how many times we're going to get ignored, you know, we're still going to love the product, we're still going to consume the product, as long as it's obtainable, and this is not obtainable right now. You know, there's a lot of things on this itinerary that I would love to experience. There's a lot of things that I would love to go there with love of my life, you know, my future wife, and just be like, yo, you know, we did this. This is one thing. We were there at the start, but I can't do that, you know. So even if you want to give me a you know, a legitimate shot at, you know, showing me and persuading me that it's worth $6,000, I just wasn't born in the right class. I'll never be able to. And that's ultimately where I think majority of Disney's criticism is coming from, is just, again, I'm someone who makes some decent amount of money, but I'm paycheck to paycheck, and I am not even considered lower class, and there are just so many other people who are going to suffer that. So then it's just like Rise of Skywalker, man. There are more of us. There are more of us. And right now, the more of us is the people that can't afford it. And that's literally why I think everyone is so strict about this. Everyone is so harsh on this, you know. I think maybe will you see a price change? I don't think so. You know, I don't think there's going to be a price change. But maybe we can see, you know, something because I executed better, because I don't think that there's a lot of stuff they need to fix. You know, like I think, man, you just take a little bit to, you know, fix that entire bridge in that control area. Maybe you change a little bit up from the hallways, and you know, maybe all right, maybe if you're on that, all right, so let's just fix this a little bit. I feel like it's fine. You know, I mean, the food is always going to be good. Disney's food is always great. You know, the merchandise is, for Star Wars at least, I always love. I don't care what anybody else does. I think it's great. I know people like talk about the legacy sabers and everything, and you know how this online site does them really good, and this, you know, I don't care about that. You know, I don't care about that. I like it. You know, it's official. I appreciate it, so I buy it when I have money, and I haven't had money to buy it yet, so it's just that. But hey, if you're out there, if anyone's listening to this podcast, you know, I believe in you guys. I hope you turn it around. I hope that we can talk about it and create a positive experience. But hey, anyone else, Apprentice and Acolytes, you know, let me know what you think. I want to know. My video is doing really well, and it seems like there's a lot of people that are just upset about the price more than anything else. So hey, you know what? Go out there, let me know, at me on Twitter, tell me what's going on. I would love to hear your stuff. Again, Apprentices and Acolytes coming in from the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many other Force sensitives like yourself. I am Lord Dagovere. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, and of course, don't forget, Level Up Lightsabers is having a huge deal right now for their entire site for lightsabers, and please go there, fam. There are so many good lightsabers. If you want to learn how to spin and win, fam, yo, there is so much good stuff right now. They have NeoPixel. All of these lightsabers are so freaking sick. You have no idea how great Level Up Lightsabers is. Just please go on there, use my link in the description. It's the custom link that's going to send you to the site. It's going to let you know that I sent you. So when you pay for a lightsaber or you end up buying a lightsaber, I get kudos. You know, I get bonus points. So please go ahead and do that. Have fun. Go get some good stuff, man. And I'll see you around. All right? Thanks for coming by. Deuces.